So I mostly think that Planetarium of Wan Shi is probably just very good in the main deck of Tron. That's kind of thesis one, is that the ability to go Planetarium and to cast the best thing in the top three cards of your library is good. When you're getting Blood Moon, it's a bit easier to just cast as well and just start casting big stuff. Obviously, you can Karn for it, but Planetarium also has a really, really sick combo with K Command, where you just get to scry into your best thing and then cast your best thing. You also can do what you can do with Planetarium is you can go big K Command, find Planetarium, put Emrakul or Ugin on top, then tap the Planetarium and cast it. So you can just this could either be a payoff when you have one in play, or it can draw into it and play and set it up. And so I think that this just seems like the way to build Tron. It's a little bit awkward, doesn't print to Ugin's Labyrinth, but I'm pretty into it. The other thing, which is maybe just kind of minor, is that if you play Malevolent Rumble over Ancient Stirrings in more normal Tron, you get to play Emrakul the Promised End really well. And Emrakul the Promised End, I think, is just a much better top end than all of your other options. I don't know, it's not the most complicated, but it just feels like this build feels so right to me, and I've been liking it from what little I've played off stream. This is very awkward with labs. Is it very awkward, or do we just still have 8 imprintables for lab? You know, I very awkward. Certainly not the case. You know, if your lab isn't good, you just take your mulligan. You know. All right, probably keep this on 5. 1, 2, 3. I guess I just put back both Karns. I was trying a little bit to like shape a neutron, ended up not really finding that ended up being good. It might have been better to just play the star turn 1, but okay, well now I regret putting back the Karn as we're immediately up against Storm. We're getting turn 2'd. Why Abstergo? You need a utility land to map or scrying for. I think as that can give you some value, and Abstergo is definitely the best option. All right, they got 1 card left in their hand. 2 after the Valakut Awakening. They do draw 2, so could easily brick here. Flashes back to Strike It Rich. Then they wish with 1 mana available. I think if they flip the Ral off whatever this is, it's not enough. I think it's their 1 short, right? No, I guess it's exactly enough to ult the Ral. So they're trying to flip a coin to win the game, I guess. The graveyard hate on this might end up being relevant. They flip the Ral, they win the flip. Still possible for them to not win with the Ral ultimate, but now pretty likely they're going to win. They hit a Rinse Resolve, a Pyretic Ritual, a Desperate Ritual, a Rinse Resolve, and another Rinse Resolve. So 6 looks at Juice, another Ral. And another Grape Shot. That did the Grape Shot. Okay. I have not died on turn 2 to Storm in a long time. Now, we have I actually cut Soulless Jailer as like the last card I cut from the sideboard. So we're trying to like Karn Trinisphere on turn 3. It seems to be like our main plan. We also have the options of like boarding in a Tormod's Crypt, boarding in a Vexing Bauble or Needle for the Route Ultimate, boarding in a Haywire Mite. I guess Needle's better than Vexing Bauble. Although Vexing Bauble does cycle, so maybe that's not the case. Yeah, I think this is fine. I do think Ugin's like really bad. Maybe I'll regret bringing in the Tormod's Crypt so I can't Karn for it if I don't have enough mana. Well, gonna keep this. Sylvan Scrying is playable as a 2-mana tutor compared in a vacuum to Eladam's Call. Well, what is it? What does in a vacuum even mean anymore? Because tutoring a land in modern can be game breaking while creature can't be fair heuristic. Like, well, it's like at that point we're out of the vacuum. You know, once you go in a vacuum, Scrying is better than Eladam's Call because these lands are stronger than creatures. You know, I think that's kind of a funny statement. Um, is my opponent the turn 2 Storm God? But Scrying is like literally just playable because Tron lands, you know. Metamorphose and Past in Flames hit. That do a ritual. Rinse Resolve into Ruby Medallion, Arid Mesa. 4 cards left in their hand. Try to get me on the F6. What's Forsaken Monument for? I like to get it with Karn if my opponent's like wildfiring me a bunch. Okay, so they have a Past in Flames, so we just hold up the K command. And then maybe we'll get to play some Storm. So exile Metamorphose, 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 Ritual. And then probably a Rinse Resolve over the Grape Shot. Oh, sorry, I didn't update the Mox Field. Let me do that. I guess they just didn't have a land. Okay, let me play some Storm and then we'll update the Mox Field, I guess. Oh, you know what? I kind of messed up there because then I wasn't gonna be able to flash back the Past in Flames. But then I drew one. We should be kind of in fine shape. We just go Grape Shot them and then kill the Ruby Medallion. Oh, you know what? I didn't realize I had enough mana to do it in the other order, which means I don't quite have lethal with the Emrakul. That's okay. Oh, I would have been one short anyways. All right, let me update that Mox Field. So sack the Chromatic Star, and then worst case scenario, we get Boseiju off the map. This is not what you'd call the worst case scenario. Do I want to show Trinisphere? Nice, didn't have to. All right, I think I like our sideboard plan. Go to game 3. Opponent almost killed us on turn 2 that game. Did kill us turn 1, game 1. Or turn 2, game 1. This is pretty close to a keep, honestly. Because on the draw, having Karn is really important. And so if we draw map or mine, then we have Tron. Map, mine, star, or sphere gives me turn 3 Trinisphere. It's not that much. My opponent's on a multi-6. Map, mine, star, or sphere. And we can draw, obviously, the mine a turn after. Y'all keeping this? Let's try it. It just has a lot of upside to be the hand we need. I don't think we get to mulligan super aggressively for Karn specifically. Oh, did I? Oh, I just didn't paste the list. Okay, hold on. Love to see that. They flip over a Prismatic Ending and a Rin's Resolve, which I also love to see. Let's just go and play the other tower just to give ourselves the out. Not really much use to cast the Scrying this turn. So they crack their fetch before Rin's Resolving, which I guess means they top deck the cost reducer? No, they're surveilling first. They do keep a card on top, so I bet we see a cost reducer here. Yeah, we see a Ral and a Pyretic Ritual. A little late. Yeah, Planetarium should trigger off Sylvan Scrying. All right, so they've got a Ral, Pyretic Ritual, and then 4 cards in their hand. Gab, thanks for the raid. Hope you're doing well. Playing some Planetarium and pretty normal Tron build besides that. I guess we also have Rumble Emrakul. 4 mana. Looks like 1 mana short of Wish for Past in Flames. Maybe getting Blood Moon here. Glimpse with 1 mana floating is a really good sign. They hit they did hit a ritual. So back to being kind of bad. They need to cast, yeah, just this is enough to ultimate the Ral. They did lose this flip. They hit a Ral and they hit a Wear Tear. Wear Tear does have the Expedition map target. I might lose this game because I played the map, actually. Because if they win the flip because of this, then we get cooked. Although they've got a Grape Shot. And then they Wear Tear, so we have to win both flips here. Although we might not lose to the ultimate when they don't have a cost reducer in play. Favorite Avatar brew so far? I've been really liking Phoenix Fleet Airship in either like Soul Trader or Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth probably a little bit more. I just think it's so good in the grindy matchups, and then you also just get to be a combo deck in the other matchups. All right, they hit Manamorphose twice and Past in Flames. That's gonna do it. Well, tough matchup. But that might just not be the case. We might just need to bite the bullet a little bit. But that's been my attitude so far. I've seen shockingly little Riddler decks on stream, anomaly or format shift. This is a brew stream when we're brewing brewing with the avatar cards, which don't synergize that well with Riddler. Probably put an artifact shell with Amber and Drum. Okay, I'll give it more look. Like yeah, Amber is like I think I agree the big deal. Do we play against Bird? Okay, there's an Ugin, which is a hilarious dynamic shift in the Burn v Tron matchup. Yeah, this is toss or colorless or filters for a mana of a color, and you can pay 3 mana, sack it, return a historic card from your graveyard to your hand, and then you exile all graveyards. I see the Magic Aids vid where Wang Shitan's scheming Signature Archive Trap is like amazing. No, we played against it yesterday. The deck looked pretty bad. I don't know. This is the benefit of being a YouTube modern brewer is you get to upload a video where everything goes amazing. And it seems to me to be very likely rather uncompetitive, and I'm not super interested. It looked really bad when we played against it yesterday. Yeah, Ugin used to be the worst card against Burn. 9 loyalty. All right, let's gate our 3 life first. Seems like Karn Trinisphere is just the safest play. Although funny, Karn Trinisphere is kind of bad with the Ugin ultimate. Doctor with the 4 months, thank you, welcome back. They do have a bolt, but they can only play one spell, and if they're dealing me 3 damage a turn, I'm gaining 3 life a turn. We're in pretty good shape. Honestly, kind of crazy that this game was this close. I guess we just spend 3 mana for the Planetarium. We also have Forsaken Monument that gains me 2 life whenever I cast a colorless spell. Have I brewed around Possessive Pursuit? Clue Bitter Blossom with upside would have been awesome in 2015. Why not now? I guess, you know what? I even want to push back on the 2015 comment because it was around 2015 Bitter Blossom got unbanned in Modern, and Bitter Blossom has always been bad. But yeah, no, I haven't brewed around it. I think the card's probably not good. It's possible I'm underestimating it. Can Grand Grand be better than Oracle of Tragedy and Shells that use that? Well, Oracle Tragedy likes to be sacked to Flare. I don't know if you like sacking Grand Grand to Flare. I do think like Springleaf Drum, Mox Amber, Grand Grand could be something. I'll look into it. I'll look into it. It's possible like Grand Grand Lessons could be like new tech for VV Cauldron also. My sensei, Gabriel Nassif, has commissioned me with finding the best Grandma shell in Modern. Only Pursuit in Standard Airship, hard to take. Turn 2 off in Modern, though. Yeah, especially when turn 2 in Modern, a lot of times you're casting your Airship, you know? Another card, too, with something like Obsessive Pursuit, like, I just think about, like, what matchups would this be good in? When it enters the beginning of your upkeep, lose 1 life, make a clue token. Whenever you attack, put X counters on target attacking creature or X's number of permanents you sack this turn. If it's 3 or greater, gains lifelink. I don't know. To me, this seems like it would be good in 0 matchups, probably. So that's not a great sign. Is Grand Grand even good in the Lessons deck? I feel like the payoff would be the draw 3. Yeah, the draw 3 is like the only payoff for Lessons. I do like having K command on the draw against Burn. I don't love not having it in Printable, but we do get 3 looks at 1, counting the Chromatic Sphere. I think I'll go ahead and keep this. So, yeah, we don't necessarily need to play a Lessons payoff, but there are like a reasonable number of good Lessons cards, or at least like reasonable ones. And then also the Boomerang Basics gets a lot better in your like Mox Amber shell, where you get to go just like Tomio, Mox Amber, Boomerang Basics, Mox Amber, Boomerang Basics, flip Tomio. Is there a brew that's on both blue and black flares? Yeah, we had like this was back when Grief was legal. We had a build with those playing like Satoro. It's pretty fun. Okay, we did draw our Imprintable. We got smashed. Maybe it was just better to play the lab turn one. I know, we played against Storm and we played against Burn. It's funny. Are we not counting Grand Grand as a lesson payoff? I mean, you do. I think we're talking more about brewing around Grand Grand and talking about the lesson payoffs that come with that, which is, I guess, a little bit of a different conversation, pretty similar. And they call it a mine. I'm gonna make a spawn. So next turn we get to Ugin. Grand Grand's not a payoff. It is a little bit of a payoff. If you're playing lessons, you get your cost reduced. That's a payoff. So I play this, then I go cast the Forsaken Monument, and then this is 3, 6, 7. Okay, it looks like I can do that. Been working on Beseech builds, and one thing occurred to me is beseeching for Wheel of Fate, the Wheel of Fortune suspend. Yeah, I mean, wheels just kind of suck without a lot of fast mana, though, is the thing. Like if Time Twister was legal in Modern, it would be like a card that you're mostly like comboing with Narset. It'd be a card that you're like comboing with Bowmaster. Like it wouldn't really be like a Storm card. You know, like Wheels and Legacy and Vintage get really nice because you get to. Maybe I want a Trinisphere. Maybe I want to go Trinisphere into Ugin. I guess instead, because I drew the star, maybe we go Monument, cast Chromatic Star, cast Trinisphere. Get Mite for life gain. We could make, yeah, we might do that. Yeah, the thing is, I mostly just think we're getting Skull Cracked this turn. Okay, we got smashed. So do we also get cracked? Given they're already in black for Beseech and probably 4 Bowmaster, could just do that. That is kind of interesting, yeah. Bowmaster Beseech and get a wheel. I certainly like that thought a lot. But let's probably just rumble into Trinisphere. Maybe there is something better to do. I guess Emrakul seems kind of nice. I know I do think Planetarium is really good in this deck. I also think just like getting to play 4 Promised into this kind of Tron, like it just seems like so sick too. You just have to play Rumble over Stirrings. They have a second smash. Okay, they just sack a Canyon. 3 cards in their hand. Can I go Ugin into Emrakul? Emrakul costs 7. So this is 7 plus 3 plus 1. Looks like I have enough. They just bolt me though. So with them not having Skullcrack up, we probably just start gaining 3 life a turn. Although Emrakul is fun. All right. I mulligan. Go to 5. The more things change, the more they stay the same, huh? Do I want to... I guess it's better to map so I can star after Tron, right? Gonna cast a Brood Scale. Okay, Fleshmaker can also end up being a combo win next turn. I wonder if you could play Grand in the Fate Stitcher deck. You remember the Fate Stitcher Mesmeric Orb deck? Just mill your deck with 2 Fate Stitchers and an Orb. And I always like that. I always like that Mesmeric Orb would eventually mill you 2 Fate Stitchers no matter what. But then you always have to have some extra mana to win the game with. I always hate when the really cool designs end up not being modern legal, like Katara, Water Master. Yeah, I've had like 10 people ask me why I'm not playing Katara in any decks. It's like, I wish I could. They don't let you. So we could potentially map for Boseiju and then Boseiju the Needle. I think let's make it just a little less obvious. That's what we got. Just do it next turn. The lessons payoff is Monument Talent being a combo and Value Engine. Now your spells cost 1. Monument, like Monument to Endurance? Experience counters will never be in Modern. I guess, you know, I don't really care much about experience counters. I feel like the mechanic is fine. It's really similar to energy, although I know a lot of people hate energy. I don't really feel that nearly that strong. I don't really see why they can't be, but Maybe there's something I'm missing. All right, so we're gonna have 6 mana post Boseiju, so not quite enough to get a Planetarium and spin, which I think it would be what I would do if I had an extra mana. I could just go for like Ensnaring Bridge too. Could Haywire Mite the Urza Saga. Could get explosives on 0. I kind of prefer, I suppose, being able to just block a construct with the spawn token. Interesting. All right, let me get an Emrakul. Right, we're gonna have sorcery, land, artifacts. Yeah, that seems fine. I'm just gonna needle Blade of the Blood Chief, I guess. Maybe I play Trinisphere. Yeah, I'm maybe more afraid of them just like playing a lot of spells. I don't know. It can't be that bad. Maybe this doesn't make as much sense as I think it does. Hello, Van. Welcome, welcome. Makes a construct, deals me a damage. There's very little limited ways to interact with either mechanic. I think it's so the thing about its experience counters and why I don't think it's like really problematic is that from what I could tell, maybe there's an exception to this, but like every experience counter creature I've read, if you just kill the creature, the experience counters do nothing. Like maybe there are exceptions to this, but like at least with the example of Katara, if Katara were legal in modern, you just fatal push the Katara and the number of experience counters don't matter. So maybe there's something there I don't understand, but this is at least why I don't understand why Katara couldn't be modern legal. There are no exceptions, so yeah. So it's like I don't really see the concerns. I guess we're gonna get a battleship here. All right, sorry. I don't know why I forgot to attack the card. Does seem like it's a fine type to Emrakul. Never a bad time to Emrakul, I guess. So opponent's a little flooded. Oh, this is an Emrakul that promised it instead of a land, I just noticed. Okay. Okay, one of the Emrakuls of all time. I'm going to go and attack with the Fleshraker because I'm a little bit worried about dying to like a K command chain. I guess we might lose to a top deck Broods. No! Oh, fuck, dude. Well, we've been Magic Online a little bit here. Maybe it's my own misclicks, but I guess I clicked reset blockers instead of combat damage. This is maybe the worst Emrakul I've ever cast. Largely due to that misclick there. It's a 13-13. Listen, my opponent has called me the GOAT. I gotta give him a little action here. There's a Haywire Mite. I'm down to 11. Their hand is Blade of the Blood Chief, Emrakul, Grove, Cavern, Mystery card. Yeah, just one of the many things I do for my fans. So they might my Trinisphere. My dad, I'm going down to 10. I block think if I block a construct, it's going to be hard to die unless the last card's something crazy. So they can equip one blade. I just block whatever the blade's on, and then I'm taking 8. I go to 1 life here. So my opponent probably should sack the Lantern to try to find a triggerable spell here. There's a battleship. I guess a battleship doesn't even wipe the board anymore. Well, I guess one good punt deserves another. So this gives me 12 mana. That would be enough to get a battleship off the Karn. It's also enough to go spin with Planetarium. I guess it's one short of spin with Planetarium, and then Karn Explosives. Karn Explosives is 6. This is 7. I have 12. And I need 13. I'm too short of Mindslaver. 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, Karn Explosive seems pretty safe. I just mostly lose to K Command Chains. Did they have lethal equipping? I don't think they did, no. So I'm going to pop this now so they have less mana for their Emrakul. A template blade to only trigger if it was equipped to a creature. If they equipped a Fleshraker, sacked the other spawn, we were dead. Well, if they equipped a Fleshraker, they wouldn't have had the other spawn because they needed to cast the blade, right? Maybe I because if they use the mana to equip to Fleshraker instead of casting the spawn, could they have done that? Maybe they did have enough. Guess we upkeep Scry. So they do find a K command. So I think they have to, if they K command into K command, we die. Or maybe even less than that, because this is going to be 5. It just really has to be another K command. I think it's even exactly enough. Spoiling Marvel cards on the MTG Twitch channel right now. They put 4 in the bottom. It's good news. Emrakul costs 6 mana for them, and they have 5. This has been a crazy game. I guess I don't want to upkeep spin because I lose a mana. Maybe that's not worth it. I will spin. Oh. Don't want either of those. All right, Chromatic Sphere. Definitely the worst I've had this card be, and it happens to be the first game on stream. If I battleship them, my opponent will have 5 mana, and they can go land Emrakul. I don't know how deadly that is for me, I guess. Should I I guess we should just Mindslaver them because that's a time walk. Yeah, just Mindslaver should just be a win, unless they draw another K command. Because we could just go Mindslaver attack and then attack again. We could choose to not attack. Oh no, if they draw another K command, we can just K command the Fleshraker. So yeah, should be just a win here. So they drew a Chrysalis, draw step, and then we just. I guess we could also just sack. We don't need to do anything. We'll just pass and attack. Okay. Odd game. Could have played. I mean, we just made a misclick. I'm not gonna beat myself up over that, I guess. I'm kind of interested in like cutting an Ugin and another Ugin for like Leveler Battleship. Just better payoffs in the matchup, and they still imprint to Ugin Slab. Maybe we could board in like a Needle and a Haywire Mite on the draw, so we're not as cold too fast. We're not as cold to fast combo starts. Seems okay. It makes me a chud, but it breaks my heart that we're less than a month out from Lorwyn and we're still getting force-fed Funko Slop. I tell you what, I would have no idea that there was even Funko Slop unless y'all told me. Y'all don't have to watch this Magic stream. You can watch my stream instead, where there's no Funko Pop conversation happening. I don't know. You don't have to engage with this stuff. It's a big world out there. Z Middle with 31 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Holy crap! At Aspiring Spike. Quicksilver, Brash Blur, or Fast Guy, generic magic card. If this is in your opening hand, begin with him on the battlefield. Haste, 4 mana, put a counter and a double strike counter on Quicksilver. That's a pretty baller line of text. It's legendary too, so you're not going to have too many crazy starts with this. All right, I think I just want to be able to hold up the Boseiju next turn. It's a cool card. Enables Moxamber turn 1. Any 1 mana legend enables Moxamber turn 1. This does it and gives you an extra mana. It's cool. It is cool. It is cool and unique, and fun. Dare I say, also pretty fun. Yeah. Notably being red, it's not like a blue flare or green flareable. His 4-cost ability gets reduced by his power. Oh, I missed that. Okay, that makes this card significantly better. Yeah, significantly better. Oh, only if it's turning entered. Okay, how did I miss all that text? Okay, Thief of Existence, K commands, which you can't grab, Emrakul the Promised, and an Eldrazi Temple are their options here. They grab the Temple. Kind of scary. Yeah, so it's like we might need to read the card again. Alright, I probably want to use the Boseiju end of turn here. Let's see what we draw. Wrong Tron piece. I'm going to Boseiju the Needle because we have K-Command next turn that can break up their combo. A little bit scared about just ramping them into an Emrakul, though. But they are -1 Emrakul, so I think we don't need to play around it. Untap Stomping Ground. Okay, well, we do get kind of rewarded by drawing the Karn here. So I guess I go imprint the Emrakul, and then I go Karn, get a Tormod's Crypt, so I can stop them from casting an Emrakul, which also stops them from comboing, and then the K command can kill the Fleshraker next turn. Should I keep showing spoilers? Nah. Modest, thanks for the raid. Hope you're doing well. I'm very rarely interested in spoilers that are like 2 sets from now. You know, we'll just read the cards like a million times. Wow, Unholy Heat. Hard card to read there, I guess. So now we're dead to a Brood Scale. And maybe we'll get to play game 3 on the play. There's a Cavern of Souls. 2 cards. Second Blade. This Fleshraker is well studied. Actually, you know what? I feel like sometimes the flavor of holding something like Blade is not there. This looks like it would be kind of sick wielding 2 double-edged vampire blades. Okay, now do we think their last card is a K command? They probably would have main phase and like try to find a Brood Scale, so probably not. I think I'll just kill this on my turn here. For as crazy as the Texas Sienna creature, it's mostly just a shitty Midnight. Yeah. That's a bit better than Midnight. But it being legendary is tough. It's very cool. I love that we're at a point in Magic where you can have a crazy design like this and it's just not that good. I think it's fun. I guess I get punished for playing a mine instead of a forest here. Emrakul is going to cost 8. I'm going to have 5, 6. That's not enough. I don't think I need the extra Emrakul. This isn't even a mid-mighty adjacent card. Well, they're both 0 mana 1/1s. Surely you get that comparison. So this was their top deck. So they probably don't have anything this turn. They made a Galactus token. That's a 16/16. Interesting. We could graveyard the Leveler, maybe. I'm thinking about this way too long. Okay, so next turn if I go Scrying Tower, I have 7 mana, then put Emrakul back in my hand, and Emrakul costs 7 exactly after the Leveler goes to the yard. So it seems like I can also cast the Scrying this turn. So this seems like I should just grab this instead. Midnight is better. I mean, these two cards have pros and cons to them, right? Quicksilver does have the ability to get big, big and double strike. Might be better to put the Emrakul back in our hand here to play around Boseiju, but whatever. 16/16 flying trample and attack destroy land. Good. I do hope that these cards are not omen pathed, but they probably will be. We activated Planetarium one time, and it was a lot worse than it was off stream, but we did win the game. Yeah, I mean, my artifact. Yeah, that's the advantage. They have pros and cons, both of them. They're different. The last card could be a payoff here. Maybe we'll look at some spoilers. So if the art isn't as bad as Omen Spider-Man was. Yeah, I didn't think it was particularly good. Makes a construct. Passes the turn. Okay. So well, we drew a K command. MTG didn't get digital rights for Marvel cards, so they'll be universal within Moto and Arena. Okay, I know that's what obviously what happened the last time. I hadn't heard that that's also confirmed for this one, but I was assuming. I was assuming. Have some more triggers on me. Very generous with the triggers today. 9 mana Emrakul? 6 mana. Yeah, I'm sure they had a deadline. I imagine the communication was kind of bad. Maybe it's going to be better overall. Plus, says they misplayed. Yeah, they should have made these infinite power also. I should have floated some mana to cast the Force of Vigor. Oh boy. Yeah, there's also that, huh? I guess I don't want to sack the Haywire Mite because I'd be thrilled if they drew a Haywire Mite. Look at this. I gain a life. It's nice when the Emrakul's kind of easy. You know what? I'm gonna gain another life. Emrakul 15 would not win here for what it's worth. I mean, it would let me go map for Abstergo Entertainment for Karn with the extra turn. I mean, we wouldn't have the mana to cast it. They rumble into a Damping Sphere, which is, you know, something. Could they have infinite token? Yeah, I don't know if our opponent realizes they could have done it, because when they said they misplayed, they didn't mention that they could have had 2 other infinite power creatures. They just give us the GGs. GGs to them too. All right, I keep. We get a villain set, then a hero set. Wait, there's 2 more Marvel sets coming. Pre-modern stream win. Tomorrow, 100%. Tune in. I like how loses should have been hit by 1/1. No, he has first strike, so that doesn't happen. Are we gonna get turn 2 Blood Moon on the draw? Kind of nice, you know. We're testing a new card and some new tech in general, but it is kind of nice to just relax and do this for a round or a league. Actually, yeah. So I believe that how shield counters work, and I haven't played with them in a while, is if you would take damage, you remove the counter. But with first strike happening first, you don't get the counter removed, right? What's better, Ward 2 or a shield counter? In modern, probably Ward 2. Tank, Blood Moon? Thankfully not. Thinking about casting the Chromatic Star. I'm pretty sure it just has to be lethal damage. I thought it was any damage, but usually in modern, at least, usually that's not 2 different things. It's still so jarring to see Marvel characters in Magic. I can't help it. Yeah. I guess I don't know how anybody's not like immune to this at this point. Like I've like fully accepted the universe beyond stuff. I no longer really see it very weird. Are there any modern playable ways to add counters to planeswalkers outside of their abilities? I mean, there's doubling season and there's proliferate, and that's mostly it. I could make a few Universe Beyond video essays if y'all want. I see Tron, I click. Hell yeah. Don't do this all that often, but alright, I guess I'll just get the Planetarium, even though Battleship's probably better. We can't really lose. I've not had many Battleship draws. When I was playing a little bit off stream, I was like Battleshipping a lot. And I was hitting pretty well. And then also had it with K Command a couple times. Alright, your turn. The world needs more angry nerd rants about their hobby. Don't make your normal good content to react to Universe Beyond cards. Yeah, that is the full plan for sure. Although Blank is always clickbaiting me in spoiler season. Moon Girl and Double Dinosaur. When I was playing Marvel Snap, I saw these characters. I've always been a big Marvel fan. I don't know what the heck this is. When you draw your second card each turn until the end of turn, Moon Girl and Double Dinosaur's base power become 6/6 and they gain trample. Whenever an artifact you control enters draw a card, triggers only once each turn. Okay, so we can do the K command thing. Fine, let's do it. Okay, although I guess I'm actually not sure how this works. Maybe we get to find out here because it's free because we could never lose. Because I would think that you'd have to do this on your opponent's turn because this is already triggered once. But I didn't actually cast anything there. I just said no. So can I main phase the K command or do I have to not? So let's just go ahead and try it. And the nice thing is we can just find out if this works and we can't lose either way. So I already have an Ugin in play. I mean, this game is very over. I guess one thing that's kind of fun is we get to go. We can K command on our opponent's turn, assuming this works, and then we could cast another Ugin here if we want. Have more loyalty. Oh shoot! Okay, did that the opposite way. I don't know. I'm just gonna pass. My opponent can do what they want. But yeah, I meant to cast the Ugin and draw the K command and Emrakul on their turn. A good time to mess up when you can never lose. On the draw against Boros, I think we're just running it back. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it does ignore the timings. So I was trying to build Planetarium with Shape Anew and like Shape Anew into Planetarium and like be able to like activate on your turn and fetch a Surveil on your opponent's turn. Seemed kind of too expensive. Trinisphere, and you could maybe board in Trinisphere on the draw. It's going to be worse though. I imagine a bunch of aging millennials in the Marvel offices congratulating each other and being super random and creative with the Boom Grill. I guess I don't get the the criticism. I don't know enough about Boom Grill to understand this reference. It didn't feel like the design of the mechanics of the card, which is what we're interested over here, seemed to be too wacky. To respond to the Planetarium trigger to draw star and K command to the top again. It's funny. New permanent type spoiled plan. Okay. Huge for Nethergoyf. If you control an artifact, creature, a plan, Dr. Doom has a destructible. An artifact creature, but not artifact comma. Okay. It's a little bit confusing. Like this is kind of small, but the templating on this should be plan, comma, artifact creature. And like the way that this ended up being displayed on the card where it's artifact, then the line is broken, then creature. I feel like that could be avoided. Again, a very small thing that doesn't really matter at all. But just I do think it would be better templated the other way. I've been learning about this kind of stuff lately. Beginning of your end step, you draw a card, lose a life. When it enters, make 2/3/3s that are artifact creatures named Doombot. Cool. It's an enchantment type. Okay, interesting. So not a big type, just a subtype. Is Quicksilver the first leyline creature? Yeah, I think so. Is there any reason Prison Decks didn't take off with Trinisphere and Chalice with Lab? A big one would be like lack of redundancy to that kind of plan. We have played a little bit of those kind of strategies, and they mostly seem worse than normal Eldrazi or normal Tron. They flip over Urza's Mine. They got 3 cards here. No Devour here. Yeah, I really like that our top cards are Ugin and Emrakul instead of Devourer. We don't actually have Eldrazi Temple in our deck either. Just playing the good stuff. Yeah, I guess it's pretty similar to Red Chancellor. That's true. So I didn't have a Blood Moon or a threat this last turn. Hard to feel too scared. Yeah, the game is really proactive. Like your opponent has a Ragavan in play, you know, an Ocelot Pride, and your luck pieces are kind of clunky. They flip over a Rumble, which they might use to like rumble into a Blood Moon here. What did they mulligan to? Seems good. The speed of our opponent's play is kind of freaking me out. Like, slow down, buddy. So we're not going to get to Ugin next turn. We can K-command the Ragavan next turn off of the tower. Interesting they didn't cast the Rumble either. Rumble seems like it'd be great here. Baron MW gave all the Marvel cards 110. I am so disconnected from everything happening in the Magic world. I feel like half the time people say like a Magic content creator's name, I don't know who they are. I gotta go to a freaking tournament or something. All right, let's go to game 3. On the play. Let's mulligan, I think. Go to 5. On the play, against their Charmalls, I feel like we can just afford to mulligan pretty aggressive. Although these draws have been pretty bad. Probably just go to 4. A troll account on Reddit that reads cards for modern. Okay. Goes to Spoilers and correctly gives 95% a 1 or 10 score for modern, including draft shaft. It's kind of immune. Okay. Fun. I haven't been on any like Magic Reddit subreddits since I think before I started streaming. I don't really even think at the beginning I was on them much anymore. I guess do I want to keep the scrying over the Emrakul? Yeah, I guess so. Oh, sorry, this is a multi-4. Okay, never mind. Dude, they got Baron Helmet Zemo in this? Awful name. When you cast a black spell from your hand, it connives. Exile a number of black cards from your graveyard with 15 or more black mana symbols among their mana costs. Copy those exile cards. Cap 3 copies without paying their mana costs. Okay, that card's sick. Baron Helmet Zemo. I was unfamiliar with your game. Oh, you have to attack first, right? Okay, turn 1 Ragavan, all 3 games. I guess I can't really play around the Charmal with the Scrying. I guess I should have held it in hand. Notably, you can't Arena of Glory to get the attack here. 15 mana symbols is a lot, but oh boy. Cast 3 spells for free is so cool. And Stitcher Supplier seems like it could go really hard with this. Yeah, this is actually a reason to Beseech for Beseech also, because if you Beseech for Beseech, you get like a lot more types in the yard. Ah! So punished for cracking the star. What's the idea behind not searching for land? Well, I don't know what land to get because we know our opponent has Charmal. Although I should have got Forest, maybe. We know our opponent has Charmal, so I want to save the Scrying to recover if they Charmal me, and I don't know what to get. Oh, they hit a Sphere. Bose says the creature has to attack. Yeah, this creature has to attack. Yeah, it's 15. So it has to have... You exile any number of black cards, and they have to total up to 15 or more black symbols among their mana costs. Okay, so we get rewarded for holding the Scrying after all. Does that count for Phyrexian symbols? It should, yeah. So there's that one MH3 card that was a Commander reprint that Post Malone had a promo of. You know what I'm talking about. Dang, imagine hearing that sentence 5 years ago. That MH3 card that was a Commander reprint that Post Malone had a promo of. Yeah, Kurrik. Buried Alive for Obliterator? Hell yeah. I mean, I think the biggest problem is like attacking with a 3/3, a 3-mana 3/3 is not an easy thing to build your deck around. Let me just make that clear. Save me, Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, Demi God of Revenge should count for 5. Boost Banner. It's like 6 mana to transform. Oh my gosh! Moon Mist! Moon Mist gamers! When Incredible Hulk has dealt damage, put a counter on him if he's attacking, untap him, and there's an additional combat phase. So you can go Bruce Banner, Moon Mist, Gut Shot. That's only 19 damage. Moon Mist gamers, rejoice! I mean, it seems kind of good. That's crazy because as you said this, I was typing, hey, after taking a 5-year break, I'm playing again. Can someone tell me what happened? I guess. Got my answer Post Malone. Yeah, that's about it. More or less. You're caught up. Dude, Bruce Banner Moon Mist is kind of sick. Alright, I'm at 4 life points. Now, and then they kill my card with a discharge. Okay, so they unlock their treasures. I forget which Tron lands do I prefer to target first. I prefer to target the one they played second, but it really doesn't matter a lot of the time. You just kind of get leveled one way or another. I guess we're dead because we get hit by the Ragavan. Okay, didn't get to Planetarium very much, but I think for me it is lunchtime. I will be back tomorrow, and I guess I'm going to be spending some more time trying to figure out a Grand Shell. There's been a lot of demand for it, and I